There is a very specific, agonizing pain that only a grandparent can truly understand. It is the pain of looking at a photograph of your grandchild, feeling your heart swell with absolute unconditional love, and then feeling a cold, heavy stone drop in your stomach because you know you're not allowed to see them. But what happens when that separation is not caused by geographic distance, a busy schedule, or even a simple family disagreement? What happens when the purest affection in the world, the love between a grandparent and a grandchild, is turned into a cold, calculated bargaining chip? Today, we are going to talk about a silent epidemic happening behind closed doors in thousands of families. We're going to talk about the extortion of grandparents, the weaponization of children, and the brilliant, strategic way one grandmother fought back and changed the rules of a toxic game. This is a story that, tragically, is not an isolated incident. It is a reality that many of you watching right now might be living in secret, feeling too ashamed or heartbroken to speak up. It begins with a grandmother named Margaret. Margaret's greatest joy in her late 60s was her 7-year-old granddaughter, Lily. For Margaret, Sunday afternoons baking cookies, reading stories, and brushing Lily's hair were the highlights of her week. But there was a dark shadow hanging over every single visit. Her own daughter, the child's mother, had realized something terrifyingly simple. Lily was the ultimate leverage. The mother began to use the little girl as a human shield and a financial crowbar. Every visit, every holiday, every phone call suddenly came with a hidden price tag. At first, it started small, disguised as normal struggles. A request to help with the electric bill here, a plea to cover groceries there. Margaret, being a loving mother and grandmother, happily opened her purse, but the pattern quickly escalated into something deeply sinister. The requests for basic help morphed into demands for luxury items, car payments, and expensive vacations. And the unspoken rule became deafeningly clear. If Margaret did not write the check, she did not get to see her granddaughter. Every upcoming weekend visit turned into an exhausting, anxiety-inducing negotiation. Margaret would wait by the phone, knowing that before she could hear Lily's sweet voice, she would have to listen to her daughter's latest financial demand. This silent, devastating manipulation began to entirely erode their family relationship. It left a trail of deep resentment, heartbreak, and absolute impotence. Margaret felt like an ATM machine that was only allowed to dispense hugs after it dispensed cash. It is a horrifying scenario where love becomes a hostage to greed, where still, the innocence of a child was being used as a weapon. The daughter would sometimes even tell little Lily, "Grandma doesn't want to help us this month, so we can't go see her," twisting the truth and poisoning the child's mind. Margaret was losing her savings, but more importantly, she was losing her dignity and the pure, unburdened relationship she desperately wanted with her granddaughter. But a grandmother's love is not just soft and comforting. It is also fiercely protective. Driven by an unshakable determination and a profound love for Lily, Margaret decided she could no longer be a victim. She realized a harsh truth that anyone dealing with a blackmailer eventually learns. Paying the ransom never frees the hostage. It only guarantees that the blackmailer will ask for more next time. She knew that to protect her own sanity, her retirement, and ultimately her granddaughter's future, she had to completely rewrite the rules of this toxic game. And the turning point came from a strategic, brilliant decision that challenged the blackmail head-on and sought a new, untouchable path to justice. Margaret stopped answering the demands. When her daughter called, asking for $5,000 to remodel her kitchen, threatening that Margaret would miss Lily's upcoming birthday party if she refused, Margaret did the hardest thing she had ever done in her life. She said no. The retaliation was immediate and cruel. Her daughter blocked her number weeks. Went be. The silence in Margaret's house was deafening. But instead of crying into a pillow and eventually writing the check out of desperation, Margaret went to a financial planner and an estate lawyer. The great twist, the ultimate treasure that Margaret discovered, was the creation of an irrevocable educational trust fund, specifically in Lily's name. Margaret took the exact amount of money her daughter had been demanding and placed it directly into this armored, locked account. The stipulations were ironclad. The money could only be used for Lily's college tuition, books, or down payment on a first home when she turned 21. The most important clause of all, the mother had absolutely zero access to it. She could not touch a single cent. Margaret then mailed the legal documents to her daughter via certified mail, along with a simple, firm letter. She explained that from now on, Any financial support she provided would go strictly toward securing Lily's future, not funding her daughter's lifestyle. This brilliant move instantly neutralized the power of the financial blackmail. The mother could no longer use the child to extract cash because the cash was legally out of reach. More importantly, it demonstrated a love that profoundly transcended immediate gratification and money. It proved that Margaret's focus was entirely on the long-term well-being and success of the child. But Margaret did not stop there. Armed with the irrefutable, documented proof of this massive financial commitment to her granddaughter's future, and a timeline of the mother's extortionate text messages, Margaret filed a petition in family court for formal grandparents' visitation rights. When the judge looked at the evidence, grandmother securing a child's education versus a mother withholding a child for kitchen remodels, ruling was swift. The court granted Margaret guaranteed legally protected visitation weekends that the mother could no longer cancel on a whim. Justice, in this case, did not just come from a judge's gavel. It came from a personal, strategic decision that protected genuine affection. It ensured the granddaughter's right to a secure future, far away from petty financial family disputes. It is the ultimate proof that even in the most complex, agonizing situations of family alienation, there is a way to fight back and win for the sake of dignity and unconditional love. You should never have to buy the right to love your own grandchildren. Have you ever experienced a situation like this? Or do you know someone who has gone through the heartbreak of having affection used as a bargaining chip? Please, do not stay silent. Share your experience in the comments below. Your story, your resilience, might be exactly what another heartbroken grandparent needs to read right now to find the courage to stand up and fight for their family.